Yellen sees several more months of rapid inflation before easing, worries about housing impact. This is a CNBC story. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen cautioned Thursday that prices could continue to rise for several more months, though she expects the recent startling inflation run to ease over time. She added that she worries about the problems inflation could pose for lower-income families looking to buy homes at a time where real estate values are surging. The Consumer Price Index, which measures costs for a wide range of items, increased 5.4% in June, the fastest pace in 13 years. Excluding food and energy, the gauge rose 4.5%, the fastest acceleration in 30 years. Also, housing prices in the nation's largest cities climbed nearly 15% in the most recent measurements. Though consumer survey points to expectations of higher inflation ahead, Yellen said she is encouraged by market-based measures that suggest prices will cool over the long term. So now, did you watch her being grilled by Kennedy yesterday? I think it's Senator Kennedy. Did you see him grilling her yesterday for like 7 minutes and 20 seconds?
No.
Okay. So he kept saying, do you think inflation is going to be higher by the end of the year? She says, if you look at it as a 12-monther, I don't think it's going to be. I'm going to ask you one more. He asked 5 different times. She never answered it. Then he brought up the Federal Reserve. And she said, I don't want to comment on that. But she did. He says, listen, the feds are kind of saying that they may, and the market reacted to it, meaning they're going to increase the rates and they're not going to wait till 2023. Well, no, it was a technical adjustment that they have to make. She kept saying, right, technical adjustment that they have to make. Then I go and listen to Powell. When Powell says, you don't come up with permanent responses to temporary situations, meaning this is just a temporary inflation that is here. We don't need to permanently, temporarily raise the rates today to make up for inflation, right? I mean, that's kind of what they're talking about right now. But Yellen is definitely not saying that this is going to go down anytime soon. She's not sitting there fighting it. She's saying, no, it's going to be here, but it's going to taper off and go away, right? We're going to see what's going to happen. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, I was on your podcast about a month ago, and I remember us talking about Janet Yellen said that inflation wasn't happening. And Joe Biden said, no, it's a 1% inflation. Month over month, it's 1%. And you're sitting here going, what world are they living in? What world are they living in? They've been lying to us the whole time. What would make you start thinking they're telling the truth now? Like, if somebody trusts anything the government's telling us at this point, I don't trust you. Like, I have more faith in conspiracy theorists than I have in the government at this point. I have more faith in those wet cardboard Japanese beds than I have in anything that comes out of somebody in our government's mouth.
Doesn't it seem like it's like the perfect storm for high inflation? And there sure is a lot of talk about not being inflation, or there's going to be inflation, and we're already starting to see it. And you said the market reflected it the other day too. It's coming. There's no question about it. Yeah. I mean, look, there's even a supply chain problem that's still affected you. If you wanted to buy a new car right now, I don't know if you could. I mean, it is that difficult to find a new car right now. And they're selling them $20,000. I have a friend who owns multiple dealerships, $20K over asking price in California.
People are paying for it.
And people will pay for it for some of them. And they'll have literally no new car inventory. It's all the chips. It totally is.
That's
That's what it is.
So, by the way, here's what. Look, there's certain things that you almost need side effects. Let me explain what I mean by this. If you eat 50 cheesecakes in a week and you don't gain weight, there's something wrong. Let me say that one more time.
No, I can attest.
Yeah. If you eat 50 cheesecakes, what's the side effect? The side effect is
happiness.
You're going to gain weight, right? If you eat 20 hot dogs in a span of an hour, what's probably going to happen?
You're going to barf.
You're going to go straight to the bathroom. You're going to barf. If you don't, something's wrong with your body. Let me say this one more time. Something is wrong with your body.
Coming for Joey Chestnut hard with this one.
If you take 20 shots of vodka and you don't get drunk, your body's broken. Okay,
David, that one's for you.
Yeah. So here's the point. If you print $6.5 trillion of money, okay, you shut people down, you put 50 million restaurants out of business, 50 million employees out of business, 10,000 restaurants out of business, whatever the number is. If you do that and you give people free money to stay home while you're giving them stimulus, if it doesn't break, it's broken already. There's something wrong with the body, meaning when you print money, inflation goes up. When you keep rates low, you can manipulate the market, but eventually you have to increase the rates. The rates are going to go up, or else something is broken. Yeah. The math, if 3 times 3 is no longer 9, there is something wrong with the calculator. The calculator is the government system that we have today. Something has to go.
Sure.
It's going to happen. So if you enjoyed this little short segment from the podcast that we did, here's another short segment to watch. Or if you want to see the entire podcast, click over here. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.